Good morning. Welcome to the individual procurement event for Truist Bank, formerly known as SunTrust and BB&T. My name is Otis Crum. I'm with the Georgia Minority Supplier Development Council. We have an action-packed moment for you today. As usual, we will make very good use of it. We will not waste any of your time. Please put on your seatbelt, lean forward, get ready to learn all about Truist and how to do business with them and how to make a positive impact on their company. And without further talking from myself, we're now going to roll right into an introduction of the overview of Truist, how they do things. We're going to hear a video from them today. We're going to learn more about what they're doing in the face of COVID-19. We're going to hear from their leadership team and their supply chain, and we will respond to your questions at the end. Please remember to utilize the chat question or the Q&A section, which you should see in the upper right section of your screen. Look for the icons, and that's where you will input your questions. Thank you for your time. Without further ado, let's move right over to our wonderful friends and partners from Truist. Hello, Lisa.
Good morning, everyone. Hope everyone's doing well this morning. My name is Lisa Miller, and I'm the Chief Supplier Diversity Officer for Truist Financial Corporation. So glad that you could make time to join us today, and we look forward to sharing information with you about Truist and our Supplier Diversity Initiative. Next slide. So at Truist, our purpose is to inspire and build better lives and communities. Every day, the pursuit of better drives us to empower clients with more choice, teammates with more fulfillment, and communities with more hope. We boldly believe in the power of what we can achieve together. Truist and BB&T have combined in a historic merger of equals to create Truist. SunTrust and BB&T have combined in a historic merger of equals to create Truist, the sixth largest U.S. bank holding company. With 275 years of combined history serving clients and communities in high-growth markets, our new company will deliver the best of both companies' talent, technology, and processes. Next slide. So for our clients, we want to provide distinctive and secure and successful client experiences through touch and technology. For teammates, we want to create an inclusive and energizing environment that empowers teammates to learn, grow, and have meaningful careers. And for our stakeholders, we look to optimize long-term value for them through safe, sound, and ethical practices. Next. So Kelly King, our Chairman and CEO, and Bill Rogers, our President and COO, have stated that our suppliers play an important role in helping us deliver on our purpose to inspire and build better lives and communities. By partnering with a diverse supplier base across our footprint, especially certified diverse-owned businesses, we drive innovation to support the needs of our clients, help local businesses grow, support the local communities, and contribute to the success of the communities we serve. So supplier diversity is not only the right thing to do, it's a smart business strategy that helps us to bring our purpose to life for our clients, teammates, and stakeholders. Next. So the mission of our Supplier Diversity Program is to make sure that our suppliers reflect who we are as a community and company. Through qualified and innovative diverse businesses, we provide value-added supplier partnerships and relationships that enhance our client experience, strengthen our operations, and enrich our communities. And our vision is to have a best-in-class supplier diversity framework where diverse business development and inclusion is at the forefront of our procurement and business processes. Next. And this is a video that we'd like to share with you.
I just got off of a 12-hour night shift.
Which one?
So in light of the COVID-19 pandemic, in addition to all of the other things that our corporation has been doing to help small businesses, our supplier diversity has played a critical role as well. As supplier diversity for Truist, we've instituted immediate payments for over 750 of our small and diverse suppliers. We've coordinated efforts to assist small and diverse suppliers through shepherding them through the PPP application processing. We've outreached to diverse businesses who provide PPE supplies and have served them up to our category teams to review their products and offerings. And for the Georgia Minority Supply Development Council, we've sponsored $2,000 towards assisting MBEs with their diversity recertifications in the GMSTC's Recertification Assistance Program. With our partners at the Greater Women's Business Council, we sponsored $3,000 towards assisting WBEs with their diversity recertifications. And as a partner for the U.S. Pan Asian American Chamber of Commerce Southeast, we've sponsored 1,000 meals or $5,000 to assist with deploying meals for healthcare workers who are on the front lines at Grady and Novant healthcare locations in Atlanta and Charlotte. And so this is just the tip of the iceberg of what we have been trying to do to respond to the COVID-19 pandemic. We know there's a lot more that needs to be done, so we're always looking for ways on how we can assist and provide that support. Next. Thank you for sharing those videos. And we're so proud to be able to work for an organization such as Truist, who's been really supportive during this time, challenging time in our country. And we're hoping that everything that we're doing has been able to help small businesses in our communities.
Thank you, Lisa. Truist and now Truist and formerly SunTrust and BB&T have been strong players in our community for a while and major supporters of supplier diversity and inclusion programs. They are not just involved in it, they're committed to it. They are rock stars in our space, and we appreciate the support. Now we're about to hear a video to learn more specifically about how to get in and do business with Truist. We know who they are. We've heard a little bit about what they're doing through these trying times in our country and the efforts that they make as good corporate and community citizens. Now we're going to hear more from Ms. Lisa Miller, who is the Chief Supplier Diversity Officer for Truist Bank. And we're going to talk about what it takes to be able to come play in this sandbox. They, like many others who, even though committed to this, they are looking for good and great suppliers. That means sharpen your tools, not just your capability statement or your elevator pitch, but your deliverables. Without further dialogue, let's hear more from Ms. Lisa Miller and the Truist team.
We are GMSTC, creating opportunities and delivering results. Welcome to GMSTC's virtual individual procurement conference and opportunity call. Today, we are featuring Truist Chief Supplier Diversity Officer Lisa Miller. Lean forward and pay attention.
Hi, my name is Lisa Miller, and I'm the Chief Supplier Diversity Officer for Truist Financial Corporation.
Thank you so much for joining us today, and thank you, GMSDC, for making this opportunity available for us to be able to share with the minority businesses who are part of your network. We hope that this session will be informative, that you'll learn more about our Supplier Diversity program and our Supplier Diversity team, and that the information that we'll share will enable you to reach out to us and ask additional questions so that we can give you more details on the opportunities that we may have inside of Truist.
How does Truist approach supplier diversity, and why is it so important?
We know that small and diverse businesses make up over half of the U.S. private sector jobs and play a pivotal and critical role in securing the economic stability and sustainability of our local communities. For Truist, having a supplier diversity program and a diverse supplier base allows us to not only comply with federal guidelines such as Section 342 of the Dodd-Frank Wall Street Reform and Consumer Protection Act, but also optimizes our supply chain, drives innovation, cost savings, aligns and enhances our diversity and inclusion initiatives across the organization, establishes a diverse and growing supplier network that mirrors our customer base, as well as enhances the economic viability of the communities that we live in. We're very aware of the significant impact that small and diverse businesses, especially minority and women-owned businesses, have on our communities. And that's why over the course of 3 years through our community benefits plan, we're committed to lending $7.8 billion to small and diverse businesses who have revenues of less than $1 million annually, as well as $17.2 billion to community development lending organizations that support the growth of small businesses through nonprofit agencies. In addition, we've put a stake in the ground to spend at least 10% with minority and women-owned businesses by the end of 2022.
What are the top 3 things that a potential supplier should know about supplier diversity at Truist?
I'd say number 1 is our CEO and our COO, as well as our executive leaders, support the program fully. Number 2 is that we've expanded our team. So we now have 5 people in supplier diversity, including myself, who have geographic representation to make sure that we're outreaching to those minority businesses in our local communities. And those areas are Georgia, Florida, Carolinas, and the Mid-Atlantic states. And number 3 is our supplier diversity managers are aligned with our category teams to make sure that they're identifying and bringing to the table those qualified, certified, and capable minority and other diverse businesses for potential procurement needs.
Building trust is critical to gaining opportunities. What should a potential supplier know about how to build trust within Truist?
I agree that building trust is critical to gaining opportunities with any corporation. And at Truist, we try to be as transparent as possible with all of our suppliers, diverse or not, regarding opportunities that could exist within our supply chain. And so for suppliers, especially diverse suppliers, I would suggest that you as well be transparent with us. When you're sharing information about your company, please let us know your core capabilities of what you have experience with, what you have done before with other corporations, especially financial institutions or financial services type companies. That would definitely help us to understand the experience you have in our industry, maybe with some of our competitors, and then let us know if you don't have that experience. So I think, when we're coming to the table to talk with you, we want to know who you are, just as you want to know who we are. But being transparent on both sides helps us to facilitate that understanding so that we can know how to position you in front of our category teams as a potential buyer.
I want to be a strategic partner with Truist. Is that possible?
It is certainly possible for your company to be a strategic partner with Truist. We have a long history of working with diverse suppliers in many different category areas. In fact, over 30 of our diverse suppliers are strategic partners to Truist. So there is opportunity.
What advice do you have for a supplier to improve their chances for success with Truist or any corporation?
So the advice I would have for a supplier who wishes to improve their chances of success with Truist or any corporation is, first of all, to understand who your customer actually is. Sometimes you're reaching for a very large customer or want to be a supplier to a very large corporation, and that may not be the ideal customer for your business. So understand who your prime or target customer is for you to focus on. And then the next thing is know your competition and see how you can differentiate yourself in the market. You may be in an industry where there's a plethora of businesses such as yours who are competing for Truist business or other corporations' business. So understand your competitors and see how you can differentiate yourself. Also, don't be a jack of all trades. Understand that you can only focus on 3 to 5, maybe even 1 to 3 things as far as your company's products and services. Typically, when we do business with corporations or other businesses, we do business with those companies that are really good at what they do and that focus on 1 to 3 things. Also, present a professional image. When we share your information with our buyers, with our category teams, typically they will do some research and go on your website and see what you're talking about on your website. And if they can't find your core capabilities on your website, it may discourage them from following back up with you. And then just be truthful, like I stated before. Be transparent. Share with us those successes that you've had, or maybe some near misses that you've had, but show us that you're sincere in working with us. Understand that during COVID-19, many corporations, even large corporations, have had to pivot. So how have you pivoted to meet the needs that are out there today? So I think that's very important for this time, especially understand that things may have changed since you contacted a corporation previously. So you may need to contact them now to understand how your products or services may meet their existing needs. And then be somewhat persistent. Don't be extremely persistent and pesky, but follow up occasionally to see if anything has changed in the landscape with the corporation that you're reaching out to. A lot of times what happens is there are some internal changes that are going on, and you may think that a corporation has not gotten back with you just because they don't want to get back with you. Wait, but it may be that that contact person that you had before is in another role, could be at another company. So do your homework, follow up, and make sure you have the correct contacts to go back to ask questions.
Does Truist have a Tier 2 program, and how can I get connected with their prime suppliers?
Truist does have a Tier 2 program. We've actually had over 50 of our prime suppliers participating under the Legacy SunTrust organization. And we're currently in the process of revitalizing that program under the new Truist brand. So look for more information about that in months to come. In the meantime, if you're interested in contacting or being introduced to one of our prime suppliers, please reach out to our Supplier Diversity managers and they can assist you with making that contact.
How do I contact the Supplier Diversity team?
So that's a good question. How do you contact our Supplier Diversity team? Well, in the next few minutes, you're going to hear from Keith Bell, Muriel Gar, Adam Moore, and Jackie Smith on my team, who will give you more information on who they are, the regions that they represent, and the categories that they're aligned with within our sourcing organization. So listen carefully to what they have to say. And if you have any questions after their presentations, please feel free to follow up with them. Thank you.
Thank you, Lisa. Without further delay, we are going to continue to move forward.
Thank you. So these are our current and future procurement needs and opportunities. And our supplier diversity team will be talking with you further about specific opportunities that may be in progress right now or coming up in the near future. So please listen in and pay attention and make sure you get that information. And as I stated before, our supply diversity team is Adam Moore, Muriel Garr, Jackie Smith, and Keith Bell. They are on the line. Adam is in Atlanta, Georgia. Muriel is in Washington, D.C. Jackie is in Raleigh, North Carolina. And Keith is actually, well, yes, he's in Jacksonville. I keep thinking you're still in Tampa, but you're not, right? So you're in Jacksonville now. He used to be in Tampa. And these are the category areas that they cover within our strategic sourcing organization. So you'll hear from them shortly. You're up next, Adam.
All right, thank you so much. We're going to talk about a few of the opportunities we have in labor. Obviously, since the merger of the two banks, contingent labor program has been looked at quite deeply. And we are in the steps right now of putting together an RFP for both our IT and non-IT contingent labor. So for the IT and non-IT sections, we actually have it divided into two different categories. We have what we call our competitive providers. These are going to provide contingent labor to our IT groups, corporate functions, the call center, lending and accounting, finance, administrative, customer service, digital, and insurance. We're targeting sometime around Q3 for all of these too, but the competitive providers will be our larger, kind of more backbone labor providers, and we'll be looking for those that will be providing pretty much labor on an even rate card across, and we'll be able to have a footprint that matches the bank's footprint, which is essentially the eastern seaboard and as far west as Texas. So we will need providers that can cover that footprint as well. The next section, or the next category that we're going to have in contingent labor, is going to be niche providers. These are going to be more of your professional services. So that's going to be risk, audit, specialty finance, professional consulting and services, and other miscellaneous positions not covered by our competitive providers. So these are going to be kind of more of our one-off, our subject matter experts. When you think of risk and audit, these are going to be quants that will need to come in and audit our different models, our different finance models inside the bank. So these are going to be kind of that more mid-level, mid-management persons that we're going to be looking for. And they're going to be handled a little differently. But everybody will actually flow through the MSP as well too. And again, Q3 is when we're looking to target those opportunities as well. Next slide, please, Otis. We will be also having a payrolling RFP this year, again, targeted for Q3. And what we want our payroll providers to supply is a single source of payroll for our contingent labor efforts. They'll be responsible for our W-2s, our corp to corp, our ICs, the 1099s, and also an IC compliance. I wanted to bring this up, even though it is a closed and targeted RFP to some predetermined participants that we already have, but I wanted to bring this up as a matter or a topic of conversation for us today, in that this is a group of providers that we'll be looking at a go-forward basis. And as we mature as a firm, our strategy could change here too. So I want to bring this up so we can start having those conversations. Then the other two I would like to mention this afternoon is human resources for recruiting for full-time positions, and then also our marketing group to provide various services for our marketing teams. These are both still to be determined, but hopefully we will have some opportunity in both of these sections, either by the end of this year or early 2021. Thank you. And next up will be Miss Jackie Smith.
Hi, good morning. I'm Jackie Smith. I'm a Supplier Diversity Manager in the IT and telecom space. I'm located in North Carolina, and we have an opportunity in the end user computing space. We're really looking for laptops, desktops, and then clients. We would like a bundling deal that includes docking stations and monitors, and we're looking for desk site support, which is really on-site support that's going to help us set up the equipment and make sure that the equipment is running with the Truist applications. You'll need to be able to ship to 3,000 locations across 16 states, and we're looking for about 50,000 devices. This RFP is estimated to launch in August, and that's it. Thanks. I'm going to send it over to Keith.
Keith, you're still on mute.
Thank you, Jackie. I definitely appreciate you sending that over to me. I think that my areas that I work with, which is real estate and facilities management and general and administrative, are some of the more exciting areas in the bank, and they're definitely full of opportunities for you to be involved. Currently, we have a couple of opportunities that are upcoming. One of those are in the field architectural services, which a field architect will help us to build out the various locations, retail locations that we have. We have already signed a top-level agreement with an organization by the name of Gensler Architecture, Design, and Planning. You can take a look at them. They are out of New York. They have given us the top level, as far as our top level design standards for the new Truist locations. And what the field architect will do is to work directly with them in very close hand in hand in order to build out our various locations. So these opportunities will take throughout. They're going forward. It's a number of different opportunities that we will have. On average, we usually have anywhere, we should have, from what I understand, anywhere between 15 and 20 branches per year that may be either being remodeled or opened in a sense, and we will need those field architects to be boots on the ground. So this is an opportunity that will take place throughout our footprint. I wish I could give you specific timing around, but it's more as needed in a local, as needed locally. So those determinations will come down through corporate, whereas to where those branches will be remodeled. And at that point in time, we will definitely bring in our field architect to make sure that what is being produced comports to the standards that Gensler Architecture and Design has helped us to create and conveys the Truist brand. Our second opportunity in the real estate area, I think, is very, very exciting, and it's something that I believe we all can feel and touch. Many of you may on the line may have someone that you know that does this type of business or is involved in this type of business, and that is our move services. The move services will require you to do all things or be involved in all things that are associated with an actual move, corporate move. So those may include creating a moving plan. It may include assigning responsibilities to team leaders to help coordinate the move. It may include communicating both internally and externally to handle everything that's associated with the move. The inventory, creating an inventory of all furniture, inventory of all equipment, inventory of all supplies that are being moved, and to create and review certain moving standards that are associated with the move. If there is any special equipment that's needed as well, to help us facilitate the move, your company may be responsible for that as well. You would want to be able to provide plenty of cardboard boxes. You will want to be able to provide packing tape, labeling material, surface protectors, blankets, all those other great things that we consider preventative safeguards. Of course, this is an ongoing opportunity as well. As part of being an ongoing opportunity, we will have various corporate moves of locations that will be taking place throughout 2020 and 2021. And we would want to have a pool or a group of organizations that we could call at that time to help you be to help us to handle that. If there are any particular insurance coverages that are necessary at that point in time, we will ensure that we let you know what's necessary at that time. Again, I wish I had particular size and scope on each of these opportunities, but because they are fluid and because they're ongoing, those things may change. So I hope you find that it's very exciting what we're looking to do as far as our 10% spend in supplier diversity according to our community benefits plan. I hope you're excited about what's happening in the real estate area as well as the general and administrative. For now, I'd like to pass it on to Muriel.
Thank you, Keith. I'm Muriel Garn. I'm located in the nation's capital, Washington, D.C. I'm responsible for the banking services and credit data aspect of our supplier diversity team initiatives. I currently have two opportunities for bid. One is an RFP for a data aggregator. The data aggregator will work with our Lightstream platform, and this is for the purpose of aggregation of third-party account data. We are looking to actually close on this in late July, so this would be a very quick turnaround. The provider will allow clients to link their off on us or off Truist, Heritage SunTrust, and BB&T accounts so that we can have a complete view of their financial picture. The second opportunity is in our online employee benefits space, and we're looking for a benefits administrator for our actual clients, which are in this role would be our teammates. The features will include paperless benefits, enrollment, and onboarding of new employees with the insurance carrier system. Currently, McGriff is using Enroll Ease. McGriff is our employee benefits provider. I look forward to the opportunity to talk to you about future opportunities as they come available. But as our teammate Adam mentioned in the beginning, with the merger of the two organizations, many opportunities will be delayed until 2021. At this time, I'm going to turn it back over to our team leader, Lisa, to close us out. Lisa, back to you.
Thank you, Muriel and team, and thank you so much for sharing all of the upcoming opportunities that we see that's in our purview right now. So what are the next steps? What can you as a certified minority-owned business do to be able to connect with us regarding these opportunities, or at least start the discussion on some of the services and products that you may offer that could be of interest within Truist? So the first step would be contact our supplier diversity managers. So on the previous slides, you saw all of the categories that each supplier diversity manager is aligned to. So make a note of that, contact them, and they've provided either their email and or address and or phone number. Please contact them and reach out, and feel free to ask questions to see if your company may be a fit for these opportunities. The next step would be register your company in the Ariba Discovery Network. Some of you may be familiar with this, as you may be registered in there already and enabled to do business with other corporations that use Ariba Discovery. But please go in and register. And this link that we're showing you here takes you to our supplier page on suntrust.com, which has the link embedded within that page. We have not yet updated the Truist external website, so you will not find it on that website. So please go to this link and register your company. If you've already registered, please go back in and make sure your information is updated. Sometimes what we discover is that companies have previously registered maybe a couple years ago, but they have not updated their contact information. And so when our buyers are looking to search for your company in that database, which is not a proprietary database, it's also a database that's used by many other corporations who utilize Ariba, they're not able to find you because your contact information is not updated. You may have the wrong person as a contact, a wrong email address, phone number, etc. So please make sure you register in that database. In the future, hopefully towards the end of Q3 or Q4, we will have our own proprietary database for you to register in. So we will notify you and give you plenty of time to be able to access that proprietary database. But right now, Ariba Discovery Network is the database that we use, and we encourage all suppliers to register there. It not only gets your information visible to our commodity teams, but also other corporations who utilize this supplier enablement tool. Next. So thank you. That's all we have for you today. So right now we're just looking to see if you have any questions for the team that hopefully we can answer for you.
Thank you, Lisa. Now we'd like to introduce you all to Ms. Ingrid James. She's a manager of MBE services for GMSDC. Ingrid, do we have any burning questions out there from our MBEs?
Good morning, everyone. First, I'd like to say thank you to Lisa, Adam, Jackie, Keith, and Muriel. I know our MBE community appreciates your in-depth review of the open and upcoming opportunities within Truist. And now we're going to go ahead and begin with some of the questions that are rolling in. First question that I see is from Hubert Owens from Luster National. Since the merger, has Truist developed a short-term or long-term capital improvements program to include any new construction or renovations of existing facilities?
So Keith, I'll let you take that one based on what you are aware of in the real estate area.
Okay. Lisa, and I definitely can say that we do have a program that is geared towards our branches and a build out of those branches. As you are aware of, we do have a lot of buildings or numerous buildings that are in close proximity or branches that are in close proximity of each other. All of those branches, many of those branches will either have to be moved or open or shut, it depends. But basically, we will be involved in designing, again, as I mentioned during the field architecture opportunity, there will be a number of different build outs that will have to take place associated with that. Again, also just redesigning those buildings or redesigning the interior of those buildings to fit the new Truist brand will be very, very important to us and will also take place. So I expect many more opportunities around general contracting, many more opportunities around architecture to take place associated with that.
All right, and I think this is kind of part two to that question. The question basically is, are those opportunities still available to bid on? Or are they under the master design contract of Gensler?
Oh, those opportunities will still, the master design contract that we have with Gensler is specifically around the standards and what the overall look and feel of the space will look like. Again, the actual Gensler itself will not be as much involved with boots on the ground when it comes to actually remodeling the space. That is the opportunity that I'm speaking to today, is the opportunity to actually be boots on the ground architecture in designing the space and ensuring that the design standards that have been produced in conjunction with us in Gensler are met.
Okay. Thank you, Keith. The next question is, will commercial real estate brokerage be an opportunity?
I do believe that may be an opportunity. I have yet to see the specific RFP come down the pipeline around that, but I do believe that that's an opportunity that's upcoming as well.
Awesome. All right, Adam, this next question is for you. It comes from Lewis Dillard.
Okay.
And his question says, since the marketing RFP is to be determined, what is the best way to get an update on upcoming opportunities as they come out?
So I know Lewis, and Lewis, you have my cell phone, so just text me. As soon as I have more information, in all honesty, we've made mention of the merger and how busy it is, and Jackie and I have actually been on reassignment since February and are just now finally rolling back into Supplier Diversity. So it's going to take me a minute to track those sources down, which is what I'm working on right now. Right now it's more of they know they need to do it, but they haven't had the time themselves to put their hands around it. So we're trying to develop that opportunity as we talk.
Okay, awesome, thank you. And I don't know if this next question is either for you, Adam, or it may be Jackie as well.
Okay.
It says, how does a new vendor get a chance to bid for the staffing opportunities in the IT area that are coming up in Q3?
That's going to be me. My email was listed on the slide. Please feel free to reach out to me if I haven't already met you, and we can set up a quick intro call so I can understand a little bit more of how you guys do your staffing, where you pull your people from, who you've provided labor to before, how many financial institutions you worked for, that type of thing to kind of not pre-vet, but understand some talking points to have as we work with our VMS manager and our IT teams as they're looking for labor. So feel free to reach out to me via email. We'll have a conversation, and then we will put that list together. So there's not I think to kind of answer the second part of that question, there is not a sign-up portal. This isn't going to be a cattle call RFP. It will be targeted in that we will present the best in the field that makes the most sense to present to our VMS teams. To kind of tag off on something Lisa said in her video presentation, it is kind of the bread and butter of this supplier diversity team to make sure that whomever we put in front of our business are viable partners. Not to say that everybody on this call is not a quality candidate, but sometimes you have to look at size and scalability, and also where you are in your own life cycle journey as a firm for us to feel comfortable putting you in front of our business partners.
Awesome. Thank you, Adam.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to tag on to what Adam and the others have been stating as well. What I didn't mention before is that if you also have, and maybe I mentioned this, but I've forgotten, if you have worked with another financial institution in the past, please let us know. That helps us a great deal to be able to understand that you not only know the vetting process that financial institutions have to go through because of being federally regulated. There's a lot of hoops that, in other industries you may not have to jump over, but in this industry, there are additional hoops. So if you have experience in the financial services industry working with another financial services client, please let us know. It'll really help those conversations when we speak with you.
Awesome. Thank you, Lisa. All right, the next question comes from Christopher Hurd at Hendrick Inc. It says, in addition to architectural branch work, is there a corporate workplace for architectural-led interior design firms?
I'm sorry, when you say a corporate workplace, I would need more on that question.
I don't know. I think he's more the person is looking to understand, are you going to have any opportunities for interior design for the different corporate spaces that you're building out?
I think we are going to have opportunities for interior design. I think that's part of the master contract that we have with Gensler, that we're working directly with them to create what that look and what those design standards will be. Anything beyond that, I do believe will be in the area of field architecture opportunity.
Okay. The next question I think is actually for you as well, Keith. Hattie's Best, Picture That Art. Are there still any needs for art appraisals?
That was a very niche opportunity. I thought it was really exciting. It was fun to listen to. And it's actually still being talked about internally because it is so different. It has to do with appraising all of the various art that is throughout our various locations. It's really exciting because it's such a niche opportunity. They have not actually brought, have not chosen anyone for that opportunity as of yet, but they are still looking at what that scope will include. So stay tuned for sure.
All right. The next question is from Keisha Walker at Insights. Do you have an opportunity to provide sanitation, disinfecting of branches and your corporate offices as you prepare to reopen?
I guess I'll handle that as well. We have initially during the pandemic, as a number of different organizations had to do, we worked with a number of organizations to do some spot buys on PPE material. Since then, we have had quite a few quite a few organizations that have reached out to us, and at this point in time, we're fairly well covered as far from a PPE perspective. As a matter of fact, a number of our employees, they're receiving a welcome back kit that includes various disinfecting items and various masks and gloves and things of that nature. So we're pretty well ahead of the game in that right now, but not saying that as long as this continues that there will not be an additional opportunity. So definitely you could reach out to me concerning that, and as that opportunity arises, I will keep you notified.
Awesome. Thank you, Keith. The next question says, is Truist doing any diversity sensitivity training in lieu of the recent climate changes and things that are happening? And will this training be done at the branch level?
So I guess that's going to be mine, since I have the HR category as well too. And I have talked to our Chief Diversity Officer on several different opportunities. They already have quite a few classes lined up. I mean, we have very active BRGs at the bank, which is quite a blessing for us, actually. So they have quite a few different programs lined up. It is a conversation that I have had with her a few times. So again, if you have something, a course or something or around that, and again, please feel free to reach out to me via email, and we can set up some time so we can talk through that a little bit. But there's no open opportunity at this moment.
Okay. This may be very similar to the last question. Adam, it's asking, will there be a need for nurses or medical professionals on site when you open back up? So we have contracted through our HR benefits groups several different medical providers. So we do have, again, another great benefit of the bank in several key locations. We do have a doctor's office, or at least like an emergency medical facility on site that has either doctors, nurse practitioners on staff. That's actually handled by a larger firm. And we had an RFP probably 2 or 3 months ago looking at that provider. So again, I don't have an open opportunity there. We do write those contracts. We do look for those providers. So again, we can start the conversation now. Feel free to reach out to me. So I can at least know that you are out there and we can have an initial conversation. And as things mature in the next 18 to 24 months, we can see if that RFP comes back up again. Awesome. All right, Adam, you're popular.
Okay.
Nyla from Mosaics 451 says, congratulations on the merger.
Thank you.
Can you add or outline a bit more some of the niche services sought in IT, risk, audit, and IT professional services area?
Sure. So for IT, I think they invent new acronyms on a daily basis that I've never heard of. So to answer that question, it seems to swirl a lot around our security space. So anything in the high-end security, especially in and around algorithms for for AML BSA, is very important. So our risk group looks a lot for the different programming languages. Not so much in the AI space right now, but that is something that we are looking at. So AI is one of them. And when I'm saying AI, it's something more than a chatbot. So let's make sure that we just kind of lay that groundwork out there. So it's going to be in and around that. This is a little bit more in the services category. So this is where Jackie and I kind of work hand in hand, right? So are you actually providing us a service, or are you providing us to people to create the code and to do the actual deployments? As far as the audit spaces, again, like I said, quants are a big thing for them. Some of the kind of higher end audits as we get into the specialty areas in and around risk and lending, especially in the CRA space, is important to us in the audit area. And that's kind of the really niche. So the other thing I mentioned too was kind of high-end finance. So there's oftentimes that we do look for modelers to help us in the finance group. Also in the different tax seasons, we look for specialty help there. And then also now and again, we do look for third-party legal to help us, whether that is in the IT space or maybe in an area that we don't have a lot of on-site knowledge in, and we need to bring in a legal team either to help us lead a negotiation or lead an effort, or even just consult with our on-staff legal teams.
Awesome. Thank you, Adam. Mm-hmm. And to give you a quick little break, I think this next question is for Keith. As it relates to the moving and logistics and packing, what regions are you looking for? And are you looking for an MBE that can handle all the regions, or are you looking for individuals that may handle certain cities and states and locations?
Wow, yes, and yes. It would be great if, in fact, we could find an MBE that could handle all of the regions. The moves will take place throughout our footprint. This is something that is, again, going to be ongoing. There's a lot that will be happening over the next couple of years concerning moving people, equipment, and things of that nature. We also like the local touch. So in having the conversations with the category directors, I've come to understand that if we have someone that can move quickly at a local level, that is also a plus to us. So I would say, for that question, either or would be great.
Okay, awesome. All right, so this is just a logistics question. The individual says, I already have an Ariba account. How do I see the Truist opportunities within Ariba?
So we don't publish opportunities into Ariba. The way that we typically run an RFP or a program here is we work closely with the commodity managers. That's why Lisa has myself and Muriel and Keith and Jackie on the team, so that we can become intimately ingrained into the different categories out in the business, to learn of those opportunities to pull alongside our business managers, and then we will reach out to you. It also allows our commodity managers to go into Ariba and search for you. So it's one of those things where to be searchable, you have to be in the Ariba Discovery Network, and we are working with our commodity managers to be a little bit more forward thinking and go into Ariba and look for alternative providers there. And then, like Lisa hinted to in her presentation, we are working with additional parties to help us in our Tier 2 reporting, and that tool will also give us a more privatized ability to have a registration portal for Truist for you to register for us to, again, search for you to include you in the different opportunities that come up.
Awesome, thank you. All right, the last question that I have is, do you ever outsource event production to help Truist put on conferences or other events and activities?
I'll take that one. So we have an internal meeting and events team that does most of the large events for Truist, and of course, 2020 has been a wash with any external events, right? I mean, no corporation has really been doing anything this year just because of COVID-19. So a lot of those external events have been canceled for 2020. There has not been any discussion yet as far as the planning for 2021 or what that would look like. I think a lot of people are really liking the virtual environment right now and utilizing it the best they can, getting a lot of engagement with it. So we'll have to see, what happens in 2021 as far as external event and meeting planning. But we do have an internal team that does most of our large events, and if they need to outsource because they need to have additional feet on the ground, they will be looking at additional companies that can help them with that. So if you are that type of company that can provide feet on the ground for some of those outsourced opportunities, and you do have the capabilities to do production of events, please contact us. I'm not sure which one of you. Oh, my phone is ringing. I'm not sure which one on my team is responsible for that. Would that be you, Adam, or Keith?
Call from Carol Jackson.
I believe it would be.
That would be.
Or Keith.
Keith, okay.
That would be me.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so please get in touch with Keith and make sure you share that information with him.
Awesome. All right, so I just got a new question in, and it says, are there any special programs or initiatives set up for supplier diversity veteran-owned small businesses?
So is that question saying, do I have a set aside for veterans, or I don't think I understand the question.
I believe they're asking if there's a set aside for veteran-owned businesses. Yes.
No, I think what you have to realize is that when you talk about set asides, that's a government-only program. So you're only going to find that when you deal with MARTA, the federal bank, local and state governments, and even the federal government. So set asides is a government program. When you talk to anybody in the private sector, banks, transportation, retail, we don't have set asides. So it is going to be, you will compete with the other big vendors out there. That's just the reality of it. So if you are a labor provider, you will compete with Deloitte, you will compete with E&Y, you will compete with IBM, Accenture, the list goes on and on. In the other spaces too, you will compete with Microsoft, you will compete with Dell themselves. So you have to ask yourself, are you ready to compete on that level? So there is not a set aside. There isn't a carve out for diverse suppliers. We expect you to provide quality services to the bank that rival the larger traditional firms.
Thank you, Adam. In fact, you clarified that towards the end. So let me ask you just a slightly different question. Do you capture veterans like you captured minority vendors and women-owned vendors under your programs? Do you have a category for veteran-owned? Okay.
We do.
All right, great. But they still have to compete against the world, and they have to be counted amongst the category of good and great suppliers.
That is correct.
Thank you.
And
Cheryl, thank you for your service. Go ahead, Lisa.
Thank you.
Thank you for your service. And I'd also like to add that we were hoping to do this year, but we've been having discussions with Novoba. Actually, Adam has taken the lead with that, establishing that partnership with Novoba. Due to COVID-19, everything has kind of been put on hold this year, but we're looking to re-engage with Novoba, looking at developing that relationship with Novoba. So if you are a certified veteran-owned business and you have Novoba certification, please let us know.
Thank you, Lisa. I'd like to thank all of our attendees today for their questions and comments. But most of all, we'd also like to thank Truist Bank and Lisa and her team. Let's give them all a big virtual round of applause. We really appreciate you investing your time and your wisdom and your candor. Thank you for your candor and your transparency. I'd like to bring that back to our MBE attendees. one of the things that Lisa referenced earlier was transparency and just being open and honest about who you are and being focused on what it is you do. Where are your core values? I mean, and your core capabilities. When you get these opportunities, you don't want to just come in and be able to get the job done and do okay. You want to come in here and perform like a rock star. You want to come in and knock it out the park, knock the socks off, however you choose to frame it. This is how you grow your business within this enterprise. You don't want people sitting on the edge of their chair saying, okay, I hope they get it right. I hope they get it right. So you want to come in on the areas where you are extremely strong. And after you deliver there, you may have an opportunity to take risk and for the organization to take risk with you. But having said that, be understand, there has to be a small window of risk. We're talking financial institutions. We're talking regulated industries. We're talking very much risk averse. Know your marketplace. Ingrid, is there anything that you'd like to say before we have our Truist folks close this out?
No, I just wanted to tell everyone thank you for attending. Make sure everyone stays healthy and stays safe and stay connected, because we do have several opportunity calls coming through the month of July. So make sure that you're staying connected.
Lisa?
Yes, so thank you, Otis, Ingrid, and the whole GMSDC family for putting these IPCs together. This has been great. We've enjoyed having these discussions with you, and thank you for your patience in helping us through this. You know, we've all been going through a difficult time this year, and especially our minority-owned businesses. We understand, you know, all of the struggles that you've been having. We're here to support you. And we're here to help you look at opportunities that we may have inside the bank. We really want you to come in and, like Otis said, you know, hit it out of the park for us, really, because we are your biggest advocates. And so when you hit it out of the park, we are right there behind you, championing you, clapping for you, and trying to get you additional business within the bank. So if you hit it out of the park, that's all that we ask of you. And so please feel free to reach back out to us. Like I said earlier, if you have additional questions, we know that we probably did not answer all of your questions today. So please feel free to reach back out to us, ask additional questions, and we'll be happy to talk with you and understand what you do, because we want it to be a win-win-win for everyone. So thank you so much. Thank you again, and stay safe and stay positive.
Awesome.
Thank you, Lisa.
And then for everyone that's attending, please note that we will send you the slides to the presentation, so you will have the email addresses of all of the commodity buyers that were speaking earlier today.
Thank you, everyone. Have a fantastic day and stay safe out there.